Hello everyone. In this presentation, I am going to discuss seigniorage, which is the method of raising revenue by the central government by printing of new currency. So we will be discussing in detail what is seigniorage, why central government needs seigniorage, and what are its consequences on the economy as a whole. So before starting my presentation, I would like to request all of you to please subscribe my channel and share it with your friends. Before starting the discussion in detail, I would like to put some questions in front of you. What is seigniorage? Is seigniorage a source of raising revenue or meeting budget deficit for the central government? And how seigniorage is responsible for hyperinflation in the economy? Seigniorage is derived from the old French word called seigneurs, that is, the feudal lords. If you go back to the history of Europe, you will find that in the Middle Ages there was a system of feudalism, and the feudal lords, the seigneurs, have exclusive right on their territory to coin money. So seigniorage means the right of the lord or seigneurs to mint money. In today's time, this right belongs to central government and it is a source of revenue to the central government. So, seigniorage means raising revenue by the central government by printing of money. It is the revenue or the profit of the government, which is the difference between the value of money and the cost to produce and distribute it. The important question here is when seigniorage is profitable. Seigniorage is profitable when the face value of printing currency is greater than its cost of production. That is, the seigniorage profit is the face value of a coin minus cost of production of the coin. What is this face value? Face value is the value which is printed or depicted on the coin or a bank note. Let's take an example. This is a dollar printed in 1853. So the face value of a dollar is 1 and the metallic value which comprise the cost of production is the metal from which it is minted. So here this dollar is made from gold. So that means the cost of production consists of the metallic value and other administrative cost that should be lesser than the face value of a dollar in 1853. So here three important conditions comes in when the printing of note or a currency is done. First is the face value of a coin is greater than the production cost. Only in this situation, when the face value is greater than the cost of production that comprise of the metallic value, the other administrative cost, then only printing of currency or minting of coin is profitable. If the face value of a coin is equal to its cost of production, it is neither profit nor loss, a break-even point. But if the face value of a coin is less than the production cost, it is not at all profitable to mint of the coin or print the currency. Let's take an Indian example. This is a 20 rupee coin. So the face value of this coin is 20 rupees. Let's take the cost of production of this coin is 2 rupees. So the profit from the seigniorage in minting this 20 rupee coin is 18 rupees. Another example. This is 500 rupee note. So the face value of this note is 500 rupee. The cost of printing this 500 rupee note is 20 rupees. So the profit from the printing of this 500 rupees note is 480 rupees. That means the Seigniorage is profitable only when the face value of the coin must be greater than the cost of production of a coin. The next question is why central government need seigniorage? To answer this question, let us first find out what is government budget. Budget is estimation of revenue and expenditure over the specified period of time. Central government needs seigniorage to meet budget deficit. Now, what is this budget deficit? It is the situation when the total expenditure of the government is more than total revenue. Ideally, a budget should be a balanced budget, where the total revenue must be equal to total expenditure. Total revenue of the government comprises of tax and non-tax revenue, where tax revenue consists of direct and indirect taxes and non-tax revenue consists of fees and penalties charged by the government and dividends and profits from PSUs. Total revenue must be equal to total expenditure, which comprise of revenue expenditure and capital expenditure. So when the total revenue is equal to total expenditure, the budget is said to be a balanced budget. Balanced budget is not at all a problem for the government. The problem comes up when the budget is deficit. That is, the expenditure of the government is more than the revenue of the government, and that resulted in budget deficit. To finance this budget deficit, government need seigniorage. That means printing of currency to raise the revenue to finance this budget deficit. Let us understand what are the causes for this budget deficit. Budget deficit are caused because of social and economic upheavals, civil war, revolution, and adverse economic shock in the country. This altogether are responsible for slowdown of economic activity and lead to the fall in the country's GDP. As a result, it destroys the state's ability to collect the taxes, and government are left with less amount of tax revenue collection. Because there is a fall in economic activity, there is fall in GDP, and so there is less collection in form of direct and indirect taxes. On the other hand, government are responsible for making large public expenditure for reconstruction and development of the economy. So that means huge government expenditure on one side, and on the other side there is less of tax collection. So when the expenditure is more than the revenue of the government, this results in budget deficit. How central government finances its budget deficit? We all know that government has necessary functions to perform for the smooth administration. That is, administrative functions, maintaining law and order, providing goods and services to the public, transfer payments like subsidies, pension, etc. So in spite of having chronic budget deficit, government cannot stop its administrative functions. Therefore, government has to make arrangement to finance its deficit. There are three ways by which government finances its deficit. One is withdrawal of accumulated cash balance, another one is borrowing, which can be done both internally and external borrowing, and the third method is printing of currency notes, that is called seigniorage, that helps the government to raise the revenue and finance its deficit. The important question comes here: when government resort to money creation? When there is an increase in the size of deficit, what it is found that the government becomes increasingly unable to borrow from the public or from abroad. That is internal borrowing and external borrowing. Potential lenders worried that government might not be able to repay the debt in future because of the deteriorating financial conditions. Therefore, lenders start
asking higher and higher interest rates. Along with that, with the loss in the confidence of the government's financial prudence, foreign lender decides to stop the lending to the government altogether. As a result, government increasingly turns to other sources of finance and resort to money creation. Eventually, most of the deficit is financed by money creation, and that is called seigniorage.
Let us see the mathematical expression for seigniorage. As it is already discussed that seigniorage is the amount of revenue government gets from money creation. So seigniorage is equal to the product of the rate of nominal money growth, this is the nominal money growth, and the real money balance, that is money supply divided by price level. Therefore, the seigniorage final equation is the money creation divided by price level in the economy. This shows that seigniorage is directly proportional to money creation and inversely proportional to price level in the economy. If the price level increases, the value of seigniorage will fall, and if the price level falls, the value of seigniorage will increase in the economy. Let us see the relation between seigniorage and nominal money growth with the help of this figure. The vertical axis in this figure shows the value of seigniorage and the horizontal axis shows the value of nominal money growth in the economy. The figure shows that seigniorage is first an increasing function, this part, and then a decreasing function of nominal money growth. The relationship between seigniorage and money growth is shown with the help of this hump-shaped curve. Initially, when the nominal money growth is low, this point, an increase in the nominal money growth leads to a small reduction in real money balance. That means an increase in the nominal money growth in the initial stage will lead to a very small increase in price level. This will result in large increase in the value of seigniorage. But when the nominal money growth increases, there will be a reduction in the real money balance. This will lead to lower the increase in the value of seigniorage. So here we can see from point A to B, from B to C, C to D and D to E. With the increase in the nominal money growth, there will be continuous increase in the price level in the economy. This rise in price will lead to reduce the real money balance in the economy. As a result, the value of seigniorage will increase, but increases at a decreasing rate till point E. E dash shows the maximum value of seigniorage. But if there will be further increase in the nominal money growth beyond E, this lead to the fall in the value of seigniorage. So beyond E, the further increase in the nominal money growth decrease seigniorage. Another important question which comes here is what is debt monetization and how seigniorage is related to debt monetization. To answer this question, let us first understand that when central government needs money to finance its deficit, it borrows by issuing bonds. It is very important to remember that governments cannot create money. Only the central bank of a country has a right to create money or print money. Therefore, with the central bank's corporation, government can finance its deficit by creating money. So when the central government issues bonds and asks RBI to buy them, RBI then plays a very important role. It pays the government with the money it creates and government uses that money
to finance its deficit. This process is called debt monetization. Another important word here is monetary seigniorage, which is same as of seigniorage, where the sovereign issued security, that means government issued security, are exchanged for newly printed bank notes by the central bank of the country, allowing the sovereign, allowing the government to borrow without obligation to repay. So, monetary seigniorage is a sovereign revenue obtained through routine debt monetization, including expansion of money supply during GDP growth and meeting yearly inflation target. Now, the question here is why seigniorage is called as inflation tax and how it leads to hyperinflation in the economy.
Let us see how seigniorage is like imposing inflation tax. In seigniorage, government prints money to finance its expenditure. This leads to increase in money supply in the economy. As a result, the demand will increase at a given supply of goods and services. This results in inflation in the economy. Here we can see with the help of this figure, the demand and supply at point A gives the price P1. When the demand increases due to the increase in money supply in the process of seigniorage, this leads to the rise in price in the economy. This rise in price due to the printing of money is like imposing inflation tax. Now the question is, who pays the inflation tax? The answer is the holder of the money pays the inflation tax. As the price rises, the real value of money in your wallet falls. When the government prints new money for its use, it makes the old money in the hands of the public less valuable because the purchasing power decreases with the rise in price. As a result, inflation is like a tax on holding money. Seigniorage leads to hyperinflation in the economy. Those countries experiencing hyperinflation, seigniorage is often the government's chief source of revenue, as the continuous increase in government expenditure over revenue leading to budget deficit. As a result, central government resort to seigniorage. Economic theory also predicts that the monetary expansion led to hyperinflation in the economy. No doubt, seigniorage is profitable for the government as it is a convenient source of raising revenue, but it's a loss for the public. It increases the purchasing power of the government, but at the expense of the purchasing power of the public. The rise in price reduces the purchasing power of the public as the real value of money falls. Thus, seigniorage leads to hyperinflation, and the holder of the money pays the inflation tax. If you have any question on this presentation, please put your question in the comment section and like and subscribe my channel to get further notification. Thank you so much.